Bill Cosby could spend the rest of his life behind bars for a assault conviction that is front-page news in his hometown paper, the Philadelphia Inquirer.
These scandals were never supposed to go public. From Oscar-winning actors getting blacklisted, to family-friendly stars hiding dark secrets, and even A-listers caught in cheating, breakdowns, and full-blown criminal cases. Here are the 20 shocking scandals that Black Hollywood never wanted you to find out. 1. Monique.
I've been blackballed, as Mr. Daniels has said. The offers just didn't make sense, Dawn.
Monique is a super talented comedian and actress who won an Oscar for her role in the movie Precious in 2010. But after that big win, her Hollywood career suddenly slowed down. And a few years later, she told everyone why. She said some of the biggest names in the industry, Oprah Winfrey, Tyler Perry, and Lee Daniels, were blackballing her. Basically, she believed they were quietly telling studios not to hire her. The reason? She said it was because she refused to campaign during the Oscar season for Precious. Normally, actors go around doing interviews and red carpet events to promote their movie. But Monique didn't want to do that for free, especially since she wasn't getting paid extra. She later said that she was being punished for standing up for herself. According to her, the industry expected her to play the game and be quiet, especially as a black woman. She called it a mix of racism and sexism. That really got people talking. The whole thing went super public. Monique didn't hold back. She did interviews, posted videos, and even called out Oprah and Tyler Perry by name. Some people supported her and said she was brave for speaking up. Others felt like she was burning bridges. Tyler Perry and Lee Daniels eventually responded, and years later, Lee even apologized publicly. Monique got emotional and said she just wanted to be treated fairly. Slowly, she started getting roles again. In 2022, Netflix released her stand-up comedy special called My Name is Monique. 2. Bill Cosby.
You are a sinful and disgusting human being, and until your death, you deserve every bit of suffering that jail time and prison might bring to you.
Bill Cosby used to be one of the most loved actors in the world. He played a kind and funny dad on The Cosby Show, and many people grew up watching him. But everything changed when more than 60 women came forward with serious accusations against him. The women said that Cosby had done inappropriate things to them over many years. These stories shocked everyone. People couldn't believe that America's dad could be involved in something so serious. In 2018, Cosby was found guilty of assaulting a woman named Andrea Constand. She said he had given her something to make her feel dizzy, and then he took advantage of her. Cosby denied the claims, but the court still found him guilty. He was sentenced to 3 to 10 years in prison and served a little over 2 years. Then in 2021, Cosby's conviction was overturned by the Pennsylvania Supreme Court. They said there was a legal issue with how the case was handled, and Cosby was released. But even though he got out of prison, his reputation was damaged forever. A lot of people were upset when he was released. Others felt the justice system had done what it was supposed to. The case started a big conversation about powerful people in Hollywood and how long it can take for victims to be heard. Even now, the topic brings strong reactions. Cosby's TV shows were pulled off streaming services, and he lost awards and honors. He went from being a legend to someone surrounded by controversy. Whether people support him or not, there's no doubt that his story changed how people look at celebrity power in the entertainment world. 3. Jussie Smollett.
This morning, former Empire star Jussie Smollett found guilty of lying to police about being the victim of a racist and homophobic attack.
In 2019, actor Jussie Smollett made headlines all over the world, but not for a good reason. Jussie, who starred in the show Empire, told police that he was attacked late at night by 2 men in Chicago. He said they hurt him and used hate-filled words during the attack. People were shocked and angry that something like that could happen. Many celebrities and politicians spoke out to support him. But then, everything took a wild turn. After investigating, the police said Jussie had actually planned the whole thing himself. They claimed he paid two men he knew to pretend to attack him. The reason? According to reports, he wanted more attention and a better salary on Empire. When this news came out, it shocked everyone again. But this time, people were angry for a different reason. They felt like he had used serious issues like racism and hate crimes for personal gain. In court, Jussie kept saying he was innocent. But in 2021, a jury found him guilty of lying to the police. In 2022, he was sentenced to 150 days in jail, plus probation and a fine. He served a short time before being released, while his lawyers appealed the case. The whole situation hurt his career badly. He was written off Empire, and public trust in him dropped. Some people still believe he's telling the truth, but most see it as one of the biggest celebrity scandals of the decade. 4. Martin Lawrence.
That a guy that tough will be on the street waving a gun, screaming, "They are trying to kill me."
Yeah.
What's going on?
Martin Lawrence was one of the biggest comedy stars in the 1990s. He had his own hit show, Martin, starred in movies like Bad Boys, and was known for being super energetic and funny. But in real life, things weren't going so great behind the scenes. In 1996, Martin had a moment that shocked everyone. He ran into the middle of a busy Los Angeles street, yelling that they're trying to kill me. He was waving his arms, acting scared, and clearly not in a normal state of mind. Police came and took him to the hospital. Reports said he was suffering from extreme exhaustion and stress. That wasn't the only incident. A few years later, he was stopped at Los Angeles International Airport for carrying a loaded gun in his bag. It made headlines and worried fans who started to think something was seriously wrong. Martin later opened up about these moments. He said the pressure of fame, working nonstop, and personal issues caught up with him. It was all too much. His breakdown became a reminder that even the funniest people can be struggling behind closed doors. Thankfully, Martin took time to get better. He stayed out of the spotlight for a while, focused on his health, and slowly returned to acting. He reunited with Will Smith for Bad Boys for Life in 2020, and fans were happy to see him doing well again. 5. Chris Brown.
Like real life rock stars at 16 and 17 years old, man, that's dangerous because you can do whatever you want.
In 2009, the music world was completely shocked by what happened between Chris Brown and Rihanna. The two were one of the most famous young couples at the time. Both were super successful and loved by fans. But just before the Grammy Awards that year, news broke that Chris had hurt Rihanna during an argument. Photos of Rihanna's face showing injuries went public, and it shocked everyone. It was one of the biggest stories in entertainment news that year. Chris Brown was arrested and later pleaded guilty to felony assault. Instead of jail, he got probation, community service, and counseling. Still, his reputation took a major hit. Some radio stations stopped playing his songs, and fans were divided. Some forgave him. Others said they couldn't support him anymore. Chris apologized publicly and said he was ashamed of what happened. He also went through anger management programs and talked about how he wanted to be better. But the situation continued to follow him. Even years later, people bring it up whenever his name is in the news. Rihanna, meanwhile, stayed strong. She opened up about the situation in interviews and used her platform to help raise awareness about domestic violence. She also went on to become a billionaire businesswoman with her brand Fenty. 6. Cuba Gooding.
The new video this evening involving actor Cuba Gooding Jr., who is fighting those allegations of groping a woman here in New York City.
Cuba Gooding Jr. is an actor who won an Oscar for his role in Jerry Maguire. For a while, he was everywhere: movies, TV shows, award shows, you name it. But starting around 2019, things took a turn. Dozens of women started coming forward with claims that he had touched them inappropriately at bars, restaurants, and events. The total number of accusers went over 30, which was a huge shock to fans. Cuba denied many of the allegations, but the legal cases kept growing. In 2022, he pleaded guilty to one count of forcible touching, admitting that he touched a woman without her consent at a New York nightclub. He avoided jail time by agreeing to stay out of trouble and complete counseling. If he followed those rules, the charge would be reduced later. The case was a major moment in his career. While he continued to act in smaller roles, many producers and studios distanced themselves. The scandal really changed how people saw him, from a respected actor to someone involved in serious legal trouble. He later apologized in court, saying he had learned a lot and was trying to become a better person. Still, for a lot of people, the damage was already done. 7. Taye Diggs.
I don't care what race of woman he's dating, she's not putting up with that foolery.
And not a lot of black women that I run into today.
Taye Diggs is a popular actor known for movies like The Best Man and shows like Private Practice. He's been seen as a romantic lead and even a heartthrob for years. But back in the mid-2000s teens, he found himself in the middle of a social media storm. In an interview, Taye said that growing up, he felt pressure from both sides, his black identity and the Hollywood world. He mentioned that as a kid, he didn't feel fully accepted by black girls, and that made him insecure. Later, he also said that Hollywood seemed to prefer him dating women who weren't black. So over time, he admitted that it influenced who he dated. Even though he didn't say he hated black women, some people felt hurt or disrespected by his words. Headlines started popping up saying, "Taye Diggs doesn't like black women," and social media went off. Many people misunderstood what he meant or didn't like how it sounded, even with context. Taye later clarified that he has nothing against black women and never meant to hurt anyone. He said he was just being honest about his childhood experiences and how they shaped him. Still, by then, the internet had already made up its mind. 8. Tyrese Gibson.
I've been away from my baby for 2 months. I just want...
In 2017, Tyrese Gibson, the actor from Fast and Furious, had a very emotional moment during a custody battle over his daughter. Instead of handling it privately, he shared his feelings online, and it went viral in a big way. Tyrese posted several videos to Instagram, crying and pleading to be able to see his daughter. One video showed him saying, "What more do you want from me?" It became a meme almost instantly. Some people felt sorry for him, while others thought he was oversharing too much online. He also claimed that his ex-wife was keeping their daughter away from him unfairly. The situation got really public, and people started questioning his mental health. A few days later, his team released a statement saying that he had an adverse reaction to medication. Basically, he was taking a prescription drug for stress, and it made him act differently than usual. He apologized afterward and said he should have kept the situation private. He explained that he was under a lot of pressure, both from the court case and from being away from his child. The internet never forgot the meltdown, though. Even today, the clip of him crying is still used in memes. But beyond the jokes, it was a reminder of how stressful and emotional custody battles can be, even for celebrities. Tyrese later reunited with his daughter and tried to move forward. He's still active in the Fast and Furious series and music, but he also talks more openly about mental health and fatherhood now. 9. Isaiah Washington.
Seriously?
No, I did not call TRF. Never happened. Never happened.
Isaiah Washington was one of the original stars of Grey's Anatomy, playing Dr. Preston Burke. He was a fan favorite, and his character had a big storyline. But things changed fast after a serious controversy. In 2006, Isaiah reportedly used a homophobic slur during an argument on set, referring to his co-star, T.R. Knight. At the time, T.R. hadn't come out publicly. After the incident went public, T.R. confirmed that he was gay and said the slur made it harder for him to stay silent. The story spread quickly, and fans were shocked. Isaiah later apologized and said he didn't mean it the way it sounded. But the damage was done. When he brought it up again during a Golden Globes interview in 2007, it made things worse instead of better. Shortly after, ABC announced that Isaiah would not return for the next season of Grey's Anatomy. It was a huge deal. Being fired from such a hit show really changed his career path. Isaiah said he felt unfairly treated and that the situation got blown out of proportion. He later appeared in a few other shows and movies, but never returned to the same level of fame. Years later, he returned briefly to Grey's Anatomy for one episode, but it was clear his role was over. The situation became one of the biggest behind-the-scenes dramas in TV history. 10. Tracy Morgan.
More fallout this morning for actor and comedian Tracy Morgan following his statement that he would attack his son if he were gay.
Tracy Morgan is known for being funny and wild, especially from his time on Saturday Night Live and 30 Rock. But in 2011, one of his stand-up shows sparked a huge backlash and almost ended his career. During a performance in Nashville, Tracy made a joke saying that if his son ever came out as gay, he would stab him. The audience reaction was mixed, but once the quote was shared online, it went viral, and not in a good way. People were outraged. LGBTQ+ groups, fans, and fellow comedians called him out, saying the joke was harmful and dangerous. At the time, LGBTQ+ youth were already facing bullying and mental health struggles. For a public figure to joke about hurting a gay child felt deeply wrong to many. Tracy's team responded fast. He apologized publicly and admitted the joke went too far. He said he never meant to hurt anyone and promised to learn from the situation. He even met with LGBTQ+ advocacy groups and visited homeless centers for LGBTQ+ youth to better understand their struggles. In interviews, Tracy said he grew up with old-school views, but was trying to grow and be more supportive. He also made it clear he loved all his children, no matter what, and would never hurt them. The controversy taught a big lesson about how comedy affects people. It showed that words, even when said as a joke, can have real consequences, especially when you're famous. 11th. Lawrence Tate.
Thomasina is incredible, man. We met almost 20 years ago.
Lawrence Tate is a super smooth actor best known for his role in Love Jones and Menace II Society. For years, fans thought he was single or maybe casually dating. He was low-key and private, never really seen in tabloid gossip or flashy Hollywood events. So when it came out that Lawrence was actually married with multiple kids, fans were shocked. Not because it was bad or illegal, but because he kept it hidden so well. Turns out, Lawrence married his longtime partner, Thomasina Parrott, back in 2006. Together, they have 4 sons. He almost never talks about them in interviews, and they're rarely seen in public. Even on social media, he barely posts about family life. Some fans felt betrayed, saying they had no idea he was even taken. Others respected his decision to keep his personal life private. In interviews, Lawrence explained that he doesn't want fame to affect his marriage or kids. He believes in separating work from home and protecting the people he loves from Hollywood drama. Honestly, it's kind of refreshing. A lot of celebrities put everything online or turn their relationships into media stories. Lawrence chose to stay silent and protect his peace. While it's not a scandal in the traditional sense, it still created headlines and conversation. People joked about how heartbroken they were to find out their celebrity crush was a family man all along. 12. Kevin Hart.
In doing that, I know that I'm going to hurt the people closest to me, who I've talked to and apologized to, being my wife and my kids.
Kevin Hart is one of the biggest comedians in the world, known for movies like Ride Along and Jumanji. But in 2017, he got caught up in a major cheating scandal, and it all happened while his wife was pregnant. A video leaked online showing Kevin with another woman in a hotel room. The story blew up fast. Kevin quickly posted a video apologizing to his wife and kids. he said he made a bad decision and was sorry for hurting the people who mattered most to him. He didn't try to deny it. Instead, he said someone was trying to blackmail him with the video, and rather than pay them, he came clean himself. It was messy, emotional, and all very public. Then, in 2018, another controversy popped up. Kevin was announced as the host of the Oscars, but soon after, people found old tweets from years ago where he made jokes that were seen as homophobic. The internet went wild again. The Oscars gave him a choice: apologize again or step down. Kevin said he had already apologized in the past and didn't want to keep repeating himself. In the end, he stepped down and didn't host the show. Later, Kevin did apologize again on his talk show and in interviews. He said he had grown as a person and that his jokes from the past no longer reflected who he is today. Both of these situations hit his image hard, but Kevin stayed focused on his work. He released Netflix specials, kept acting, and used the experience to talk more about growth and responsibility. 13. Nate Parker.
Nate Parker reopened old wounds when he expressed sorrow over the death of a woman he was once accused of assaulting.
Nate Parker was a rising star in Hollywood. He wrote, directed, and starred in the 2016 movie The Birth of a Nation, which told the powerful story of Nat Turner's slave rebellion. The movie got huge buzz before it even came out. People thought it could win Oscars and make Nate one of the biggest names in the industry. But just before the movie's release, a serious controversy came back into the spotlight. While in college years earlier, Nate and his roommate, who also co-wrote the film, had been accused of assault by a fellow student. Nate had been taken to trial and was eventually found not guilty. But the case was very serious, and the woman involved later took her own life years after the incident. Even though he had been acquitted, people began to question why Nate never talked about the case before the movie blew up. Some felt that he didn't show enough sympathy or understanding in interviews. The timing couldn't have been worse. A film about justice and freedom was now linked to a painful real-life story involving a young woman's trauma. As a result, many festivals, media outlets, and studios pulled back their support. The film's Oscar chances disappeared, and Nate's career stalled. He tried to speak out and explain his side, saying he was wrongly judged in the court of public opinion. But the damage was done. 14. CeeLo Green.
Singer CeeLo Green charged with slipping ecstasy to a woman he was apparently dining with in L.A. last year. The two then went back to the singer's hotel.
CeeLo Green is known for his music, songs like Forget You made him a household name. He also judged on The Voice and was loved for his quirky style and fun personality. But in 2014, he found himself in the middle of a very serious controversy. He was accused of giving a woman ecstasy without her knowledge. The case went to court, and CeeLo ended up pleading no contest, not to the assault charge, but to giving her the drug. That means he didn't admit guilt, but accepted the punishment. He avoided jail but was placed on probation and had to do community service. The case already had people talking, but then things got even worse. CeeLo tweeted something that many saw as very harmful. He wrote that people who have really been harmed remember. The internet responded fast, people were outraged, and he got called out by fans, media, and activists. He quickly deleted the tweet and apologized, saying he didn't mean to cause harm. But the tweet spread everywhere, and people didn't forget. He also lost shows and appearances because of it. TBS canceled his reality show, and his public image took a huge hit. Since then, CeeLo has tried to stay more low-key. He's released new music, but hasn't returned to major TV like before. His story became a reminder that one bad statement, especially on social media, can damage everything you've built, even if you try to take it back. 15. Orlando Brown.
Disney Channel star is busted again right here in Las Vegas. Police tell us that Orlando Brown was arrested Monday for narcotics possession.
Orlando Brown was once a Disney Channel favorite. He starred as Eddie on That's So Raven, and everyone loved his goofy charm and funny delivery. But as he got older, things started to go downhill. Fast. Over the years, Orlando had multiple run-ins with the law. He was arrested several times for things like possession, resisting arrest, and even burglary. On top of that, he started posting strange videos online where he'd talk to himself, say random things about celebrities, or just act in ways that had fans really worried. People weren't just laughing, many were concerned about his health. It became clear that he was struggling with addiction and possibly other mental health problems. The videos went viral, but not in a good way. They became internet jokes, but behind those clips was someone who needed help. Thankfully, there was a turning point. Orlando entered rehab and started trying to turn his life around. He also began talking about his issues openly, including his past with drugs and how fame at a young age affected him. In interviews, he said he wanted to get better for his family and for himself. 16. Derek Luke.
I think everybody has a purpose. And once in place, when everything's in place, things happen.
Derek Luke is best known for his role in Antwone Fisher, a powerful film where he played a young man overcoming trauma and finding strength. He's a talented actor who's always kept a pretty low profile. But in 2015, he found himself in the middle of unexpected drama, just because of who he married. Derek is married to a white woman named Sophia Adela. They've been together for years and seem really happy. But some fans were upset when they found out about his wife's race. A few people on social media started saying he wasn't supporting black women or that he was anti-black for marrying outside his race. Instead of staying quiet, Derek responded. He posted a message online saying that love isn't about skin color, it's about the connection between two people. He made it clear that he didn't marry Sophia because of her race, but because of who she is as a person. He also called out the negativity in the comments, saying that colorism and judgment within the black community can be just as harmful as racism from the outside. His post got mixed reactions. Some people clapped for him and said he had every right to love who he loves. Others still weren't happy. 17. Eddie Murphy.
Well, Al, when Eddie Murphy picked up this Hollywood he had no idea that right behind him were a pair of vice cops.
Eddie Murphy has been one of the biggest comedy stars in the world. From Coming to America to Shrek, he's been making people laugh for decades. But in 1997, he had a moment that caused a lot of media buzz, and it had nothing to do with movies. One night in Los Angeles, Eddie was pulled over by police while giving a ride to a transgender worker. The news spread fast, and even though he wasn't charged with any crime, the story made headlines all over the country. Eddie said he was just offering a ride to someone in need. He denied doing anything wrong, and police confirmed he hadn't committed any offense. Still, the media made a big deal out of it, especially since Eddie had a very clean, family-friendly image at the time. The public reaction was mixed. Some people made jokes about it, others supported him, and a few were just confused. But overall, the scandal didn't hurt Eddie's career as much as people expected. He kept doing movies and went on to star in hits like Doctor, Dolittle, and Shrek. Years later, people still bring up the incident, but Eddie rarely talks about it. He's focused more on his work and his family. The situation showed how quickly the media can spin a story, even when no laws are broken. 18. Will Smith.
Oh, wow! Wow! Will Smith just smacked the out of me.
This was probably one of the wildest moments in live TV history. At the 2022 Oscars, Will Smith walked up on stage and slapped comedian Chris Rock right across the face. And no, it wasn't a skit. It really happened. So here's what went down. Chris Rock was on stage making jokes, like most hosts do. He made a joke about Jada Pinkett Smith, Will's wife, saying she looked like she was ready for a G.I. Jane sequel. The problem is, Jada has a medical condition called alopecia, which causes hair loss. Will didn't find it funny at all. At first, Will laughed a little, but when he saw Jada's face, he got mad. He stormed the stage, slapped Chris Rock, and then went back to his seat yelling, "Keep my wife's name out your mouth." Everyone in the room and people watching from home were completely shocked. Later that night, Will actually won the Oscar for Best Actor for King Richard. He gave a tearful speech, apologized to the Academy, but not to Chris Rock right away. The internet exploded with memes, opinions, and debates. Some people supported Will for standing up for his wife. Others said it was totally wrong and violent. A few days later, Will officially apologized to Chris Rock in a post. But the damage was already done. The Academy banned Will Smith from attending the Oscars for 10 years. He also stepped down from the Academy himself. 19th, Terrence Howard.
As far as me harming somebody, anybody that knows me, I really can't harm a fly. You know, it's completely against my spirit.
Terrence Howard is a well-known actor, especially for his role in Empire. But behind the scenes, he's been caught up in some serious drama, especially when it comes to his relationships. Over the years, multiple women, including his ex-wives, have accused him of being abusive. Some of these allegations involved hitting, pushing, and threatening behavior. In fact, back in a Rolling Stone interview, Terrence admitted that he hit his first wife. He said it happened because he felt disrespected, which honestly just made things worse in the eyes of the public. His ex-wife, Michelle Gint, also accused him of violence, saying he hit her during a vacation. Howard said it was actually she who attacked him, but court records, photos, and restraining orders started piling up. People didn't know what to believe, but the accusations kept coming. It got to a point where people started calling out Hollywood for not holding him accountable. Some fans even called for him to be dropped from shows and movies. But despite everything, he continued to land roles. Terrence has always said that the media paints him unfairly. He claimed that his anger issues come from childhood trauma and a tough upbringing. While it's okay to talk about personal struggles, many people feel that doesn't excuse abuse. These allegations really damaged his public image. Even though he's super talented, a lot of people see him differently now. It's one of those situations where fame doesn't protect someone from their past being exposed. 20. Wesley Snipes.
He was convicted on 3 misdemeanor counts of failing to file a tax return. He could still be sentenced to 3 years in prison after originally facing a possible 16.
Wesley Snipes is known for being a total badass on screen. You probably know him from Blade, the vampire hunting superhero. But off-screen, he got into some serious trouble with the government. We're talking jail time. Here's what happened. In the early 2000s, the IRS, America's tax agency, found out that Snipes hadn't filed his taxes for several years. That's a huge deal, especially when you're making millions of dollars from movies. Instead of paying his taxes like everyone else, he believed in something called the tax protester movement. Basically, a bunch of people who claim they don't legally owe federal taxes. Spoiler, that doesn't work. Snipes ended up being charged with multiple crimes, including tax fraud and failing to file returns. In 2008, he was found guilty on 3 misdemeanor counts of not filing his taxes. The court sentenced him to 3 years in federal prison. He tried to appeal, but it didn't work. In 2010, he went to prison and stayed there until 2013. For someone who once ruled the box office, going to jail was a huge fall from grace. His Hollywood career took a hit, and for a while, he disappeared from the spotlight. After prison, Snipes made a comeback, appearing in films like The Expendables 3 and Coming to America. But people still remember the tax scandal, and it definitely affected how Hollywood treated him. Which one shocked you the most? Was it the slap, the cover-ups, or the courtroom drama? Let us know in the comments. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on all notifications so you never miss any upload from us.